Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Dr. Thayer, are you familiar with an individual named Neville Roy Singham?
No, Congressman, I'm not.
Mr. Atkinson?
No, sir.
Mr. Sella?
I'm not, sir.
Mr. Stokes?
No, sir.
Okay, so, Mr. Chairman, I would like to submit for the record an article from the New York Times titled, "A Global Web of Chinese Propaganda Leads to a U.S. Tech Mogul."
Without objection to ordered.
So, Mr. Singham is an individual, former, as was mentioned, tech mogul. According to these articles, he has been financing groups like the group that is protesting outside this door, Code Pink. In fact, he's married to the individual who co-founded this organization. He's also been a contributor to many left-leaning Democrats, including members of this committee. So certainly members in this committee know who he is. But the question is, what is his involvement with China? Because so much of his philanthropy is funding groups that are sympathetic to the Chinese Communist Party. And so this is of concern. And you would think that it wouldn't result in anything, and yet, as this Times article points out, there have been multiple occasions. In fact, when the committee on China was formed in the House, several of those members that received contributions protested the creation. In fact, rallied votes against the creation of that committee. There are other items that are listed in the article, and I would encourage you guys to read that. With that, I want to talk about, to me, this is an example of elite capture. Okay, so Mr. Thayer, let's talk about the history of the current governor, Tim Walz, and his connections with China. It is estimated that he has he's been to China and organized trips up to 30 times. And then he no longer started doing those trips. Then he became a member of a group while he was a member of Congress called the Macau Polytechnic University, which is a Chinese institution that characterizes itself as having a long-held devotion to and love for the motherland. Mr. Thayer, are you aware of Mr. Waltz's connections to his interactions with China?
Yes, Congressman Burlison. Those incidences and his corporation, which was in existence in the 1990s and into the 21st century, the business that ran essentially educational exchange or brought American students to the...
For over 10 years.
Yes, sir.
For over 10 years, he made numerous trips and organized numerous trips that were funded. My real concern is his connection to this organization, the Macau Polytechnic University. Can you describe that?
I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Congressman Burlison, that he was a researcher there or a fellow at that institution in Macau.
During the Trump administration, one might think that this, there has been a pivot in the United States, but certainly by the time the Trump administration had taken office, the Trump administration started sending warnings to universities about the Confucius Institutes and their involvement, and many universities pulled those from their campuses. But strangely, the universities in Mr. Waltz's state, while he is governor, are uniquely still having the Confucius Institutes. Are you familiar with that?
Yes, sir.
What is the concern and why do you? Could you elaborate on why that's a concern?
Certainly. Well, Confucius Institute is an aspect of political warfare. It's an institution which purports to tout the greatness of Chinese civilization, but it really is advancing the agenda of the Chinese Communist Party. My concern with respect to the businesses is that he would have to have a Chinese partner, at least one partner, or maybe multiple partners in the People's Republic of China, and would have to receive permission at the local level, provincial level, and at the central level to conduct business. And that certainly would involve contacts with the MSS, so with the Chinese intelligence service and with the Chinese Communist Party. in order to conduct that business. To my knowledge, we don't have information about his Chinese partner or Chinese partners there. Additionally, of course, for MSS intelligence collections, having students come over, of course, allows MSS to have access to those individuals, which may provide a benefit for their intelligence collection in the future.
Thank you. My time has expired.